Hello everybody, welcome to Production Music Live. My name is Guido. I'm over from Cat and Beats, and today we're going to talk about how to get a smooth top end. Now, a smooth top end, that comes from the following setting. A lot of people, when they do their own mixing and mastering, what they will do is they will give a big bump at the bottom and a big bump at the top, and this is called a smiley face EQ. Now, the problem with this smiley face EQ, not saying that the smile isn't that pretty, is that when you bump the top end, you're also going to be bumping the transients that are in the track. So the top end that's not that nice to hear. So really hard, like claps or S's or hi-hats that go like cuts, cuts, cuts. No, and basically when you then turn up and you play in a club, a lot of people will go, oh, I'd rather not listen to that. I'd rather go over to the other DJ because it's just too loud. So what we're going to do to combat that is to create a really nice sizzly top end. Now, right now, I have the track of the vocal mixing session that I did. There's a playlist. If you're interested in vocal mixing, check that out. But I really turned up the clap transient with just over compression, and I also did the same for the hi-hats. So that sounds like this right now. So the clap is quite loud, and if you would then turn that up at home really, really loud, you'll notice that your eardrums will start bleeding. Not because it's a bad track, but because it's just too much. So what we're going to do now is take the three solutions. So you have three solutions. The dynamics is called dynamics module, is basically a multiband dynamics EQ, dynamic EQ as well, which is the same thing but different, and a spectral shaper, which is the same thing but different again. So each of them have a different little trick up their sleeve. Let's talk about each of them, okay? So the first one is called dynamics, and it's a multiband dynamics. Looks like this. It's basically just a compressor. So you have your normal compression here in your attack and release settings. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the top end here. So this one, I just removed one band because I don't need the other bands. So I can just turn this off and turn this off as well. And we can solo the problem area. So you agree with me, right? That is probably... This is probably the problem area that we're dealing with right now. Now, what we're going to do is do something really cool. So Ozone 8 is brilliant at this. What we can do is we can take the attack time and put it on 0. What? Yes, I know, 0. And, sorry, I get excited. And then we're going to take the compressor knob and turn it down. But we can also actually visually see this. So if we click on the gain reduction trace, it will actually show that when the clap and that hi-hat hits, and I put this down, you'll see the Ozone 8 multiband dynamics shaping it down. See? Let's just do an extreme setting. And let's also set the release correct as well. So with correct release, what I try to do with my release when I have a problem like this, I try to really put brackets around the issue. So for instance, if this is the transient, I really want to make sure that only that part is being taken care of. So let's just make that a little bit faster. So you can see it's just that first transient there. Now the last part is that you can also put up the ratio to put it a little bit more extreme. And you see that the higher I put the ratio, the more the volume is being ducked. Okay? So now the last thing that I'm going to do, why do we still have low end, by the way? So that. The last thing I'm going to do is make that a little bit more normal. So I'm going to just take that compression level down a bit. And I'm going to re-listen to that in the song itself. And we're going to take the band 3 gain and put that back into the mix. Now let's have a little before and after. It's smacking you quite hard, and then... So now we have a punchy low end or mid part, and we have a pretty smooth, over-the-top compressed top end. Now, obviously, this is too much. Now, the best part about the multiband dynamics module is that there's also a dry and wet. So when you do too much, you can always just kind of dial it down again. Let's just check that again with bypass. Problem solved, right? So that's the first problem out of the way, and we have that little smooth top end that we wanted. Okay, let's move on to the next one because there's more tricks. There is also the dynamic EQ, which is basically the same thing, but this time we can actually focus specifically on frequency, and we can also use different types of filters. So here we can, normally we would have just had this with the multiband dynamics, which goes beep, 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 like that. So that's all cute and nice, but we don't need that right now. Let's just pretend that the frequency from the claps are specific to an area. So let's just say that the area is right here, and we need to specifically get that area down. So we can use different types of shelves. We have a band shelf, a peak as well. So like it looks like this or like this, and you can take care of different areas here. So let's just use the band shelf because I know it's a bit of a wide area because it's a whole clap. And let's press Alt as well so we can listen to where the problem frequency is. Let's just do that. Let me just turn this off because otherwise I'll ruin it. Let's just say it's over at 6,000, yeah? So we're going to turn on band 6 and we're going to move it over to 6,000. And we're going to now pull it down. We're going to take the auto scale and turn that off. And again, with the attack and release time, I'm going to put it on 0 and I'm going to put the release time on 30 because that was magical last time. All right? So with these two little knobs, we can then set how much compression we need in that area. So this way we still get the top end frequencies that sizzle really at the top. Nobody's really going to hear those that much. And we have some compression going on again. Lots of compression. And now we can also, for instance, just like in dynamics, but I haven't told you that, you can do mid-side compression as well, or left and right in case of a problem. But I find that this dynamic EQ, because we have a clap and a hi-hat, which is basically you'll go over a broad spectrum, I find that the dynamic EQ is really fantastic for de-essing or for when you have a total master and there's this tom that goes dunk dunk the whole time and it's really, really annoying. So then it's really nice to specifically go to frequency and say nah, or say hell yeah, and then turn it the other way around. Okay, and more about low end another time. For now, high end. So let's continue going. We also have the Spectral Shaper, and the Spectral Shaper is actually really made for this type of issue. So what the Spectral Shaper does is we can, again, solo the frequency that is the issue, just like here. We, find the problem area first, and then we have a threshold. Just like over here, a threshold with a compressor that goes down, just like over here as well. And we're going to turn that down. And then the attack time, put that on very, very fast. Release time on 30, like they already knew. And then we have a tone as well. So let me just show you. So first and foremost, let's find the problem. I think we found it. It is loud. Then let's take the threshold down. And again, we have that little knob so you can see it. So we're now taking this down. Just a little bit too much. You can make that light or heavy. Heavy meaning it will really smack down quite a lot, and you have a ratio of 4:1. Light being probably 2:1. Oh, well, 1.5, and then this is probably 2:1. Yeah, and this is heavy. Okay, so basically the same one as we did here with the ratio. We have a 3:2, well, whatever. Heavy. Let's go heavy. Now, Let's take the tone, and that's where the spectral shaper is different again. With the tone, what we can do is if we slide it up, we get more of the top end to come out. Okay, obviously we're doing a little bit too much. So it's focusing on the tss, and with the bottom, let's do a little more. So just think of it as an O and an A button. So it depends on what you need. I find that this really works when you have lots of vocals and the vocals are going. Then you take the tone button and or hi-hats or rides. You take the tone button and you just kind of go instead of depending on what you need right there. So these are my 3 go-tos. Make sure that with the dynamic EQ and the spectral shaper that after you've made these adjustments, you can use your equalizer and turn it back up. Because with the dynamics, you can just turn up an auto gain, and with these two, you can't. So that sucks. But after you fixed your issues, then you can start doing your equalization to make things shiny and sexy. All right. So that's that for this time. My name was Guido from Cat and Beats, and take care. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you on the flip side when we're probably going to do low end. Exciting. Okay, bye-bye.